So that's not the whole story, but let's move on. My third topic was grooming leaders. Because this is a crucial thing, isn't it? I mean, it's not only for succession, but it's how do you bring leaders? How do you train them? How do you analyze their performance as would-be CEOs if you don't have a system to allow them to grow? And leadership is not only learned in business schools. Leadership is practice. So if you don't give them the chance to develop, to hone and develop their leadership capabilities, they won't turn out as leaders. Whether it's in your family, with your children, whether it's in your neighborhood, whether it's in your church or your football association, wherever, there is a chance for you to hone your leadership skills. Not because you want to be a CEO, but because you have something to say. And you don't wish to die with all your music inside of you. No, you want to get it out. What did you come out to this world for? If not, to improve it and leave your message so that others might run with it. So, is there another way to grow while staying in touch? This is why I analyzed the Catholic Church, because it's been around for 2,000 years. There's hardly a better example of staying power than the Catholic Church. Of course it made mistakes, but let's concentrate on what is interesting about it, not least of it, its duration. 2,000 years, it's a hell of a record. So what do? They groom their leaders. They have private schools, confessional schools they call them, in which these students are selected, and some are selected into the seminars, and then they become priests, and eventually they become bishops, and God knows they might even become cardinals and choose the next pope. But the interesting thing is, it's bottom up. They have schools of leadership in a sense. They're constantly selecting the people that will do it. And they've been doing this for almost 300 popes. So this difficult to read map here is the tenure of each pope. And there are almost 300 of them. And of course it has varied, and it was falling. The tenure was falling until roughly the year 13th century. But now they last longer. And the interesting thing is that the average tenure of a Catholic pope is now double the tenure of a CEO. So they last long in the reigning of the operation. Not only that, there is a diverging path of their behavior. In the corporate world, the CEO turnover is increasing, and the corporate boards are very insular. But in the Catholic Church, the popes are lasting longer, and they are geographically more diverse. You might not think so, and I know why, but listen. The Japanese have only 5% of their board of governors born not in Japan, while the Catholic Church has this pope born in Argentina. It's recent, you might say, yes. For a long time, the Catholic Church was mostly an Italian institution. But there are historical reasons for it, but not when it started. When it started, the Catholic Church would groom its leaders from North Africa, from the Iberian Peninsula, from Northern Europe, the Middle East. During a time when it collapsed, most of the popes were Italian, yes. But the last three popes is the first instant in almost 2,000 years that you have three consecutive popes that are not Italian. First it was a Pole, then a German, and now an Argentinian. And this is a trend because Pope Francis has understood that this is the way to go. And this is why he's naming more cardinals. That's the electoral college of the Church. That will be stronger, where it will be a greater representation of Asians and Africans. So not only the popes are lasting longer, they are diversifying what we could consider the board of governors of the Catholic Church, which is the one that not elects the pope, but through God appoints them.